Welcome to the Berman Golf Podcast, where we're helping golfers over the age of 60 increase distance off the tee so that they can hit shorter irons into the green. Yeah, baby. You can visit us at bermangolf.com for more information and get ready. This is going to be a fun one. And we're back with the Long Balls Golf Podcast. Dr. Jake with Berman Golf here as your host. And today we're going to talk specifically about how to increase distance off the tee. And this is going to be directed towards the aging golfer, so 50, 60, and older. If you're younger than that, pay attention to it if you want. However, it won't be as relevant as it will be for 50s and 60s and older because the body just moves differently after the age of 50, 60, 70. It just moves differently. And if you don't know that by now, then maybe you shouldn't be listening to this. How do we increase distance off the tee? Before we can give you the tactical ways on how to do it, you have to understand why it happens in the first place. I've got a whole chapter on this in my book, The Berman Method of Golf Performance. So if you don't have it, check it out. It's on Amazon, or give me a call, email me at distance@drberman.com and I'll send you a copy. I have a whole chapter on this where before the age of 60, the vast majority of amateur golfers use momentum to swing the golf club. And for further context, the way the Berman method came about, the way I figured out that this is something very different from everything else that's going out on YouTube and all the lessons and everything out there, is because everything that you see on YouTube and golf instruction is based off of golf philosophy, which is technique. What do I do with my hands? Grip, swing plane, get the hands in front of the club, and just a technical thing that very rarely works for the aging golfer, because the pros are trying to get these 60, 70, even 80-year-olds in these positions that their bodies are not physically capable of getting into. So that's when I started digging deeper and finding out that, okay, here's what's going on. Before the age of 60, the body moves so much differently that you're able to get away with a momentum-based swing using sheer physics. So the sheer laws of physics, this is not technique. This is not my idea or something that I made up myself. This is a law of physics, which is non-negotiable on this planet Earth. When you use momentum to swing the golf club, there's only two ways to gain more distance. You either have to swing the club faster, or you have to swing it the same speed, but swing something heavier at the same speed. And everybody listening to this should know that as you get older, you don't swing faster and you swing lighter clubs. So this is actually a double negative if you're still using a momentum-based swing. So no wonder the ball is not going as far as it used to, because of the laws of physics. They're telling you it's not going to go as far as it used to because you're swinging slower and you're swinging a lighter club. So by the sheer laws of physics, the ball's not going to go as far. Now, before we can get into a muscle-based swing and how I'm going to help you increase distance off the tee right now, you have to understand, or I think you have to prove to yourself that you are using a momentum-based swing. And I've mentioned this many times, so I'm going to mention it again because it's super simple to do. Set up your phone on slow motion video, and have somebody take a slow motion video directly across from you and the ball. So not down the line, right? So you got down the line, which is towards the target, from behind, which is away from the target, and then perpendicular. So straight across from you and the ball. Have somebody take a slow motion video of you from that angle. In real time, swing the golf club in real time. Then open up that video and scroll forward until you find the top of your backswing and pause the video right there at the top of your backswing. And then take a screenshot of that position that you're in at the top of your backswing. Then the next thing you do is have the same person that videoed you take a picture. Now switch it over to photo. And now in the same exact spot that they were at across from the ball from you, now you go to the top of your backswing and just stop and hold it there. And then when you get to the top of your backswing and you're holding it there, have them take the picture. Then you're going to compare those two pictures side by side. 99% of the time, the screenshot from the real-time swing, the slow motion video, that position will be at least 10%, if not 20 or 30% farther into the backswing than where you can get and physically hold the top of the backswing yourself. That right there is 100% confirmation that you are using momentum to swing the club and not muscles. Because if you are using muscles to swing the club, you'd be able to get into the same exact position and hold it statically against gravity. But you can't because you're not using muscles, you're using momentum. So to come back full circle on how do we increase distance off the tee, it's really simple. It's not easy, but it is really simple. You just have to get more muscles working during the golf swing than you did prior, right? It's that simple. The reason why is because the more muscles you have working during your golf swing, the more power you're going to be able to generate. And this is another law of physics. The more power you can deliver into the golf ball, the farther it will go. It's just sheer physics. This is not a technique. This is not a philosophy. This is not a guess or a one size fits some. This is a law of physics. After the age of 60, you increase the amount of power that you're generating during the golf swing and then transfer that power into the golf ball. The ball will go farther. The way that we do it is we want to utilize or pick off the low-hanging fruit first. So as we all know, the golf swing is very complex and there's so many things that you can work on at any given time that might give you the chance at improving your game. So the purposes of this, where we're specifically trying to increase distance off the tee, we're going to focus on the two lowest hanging fruit possible. And that is your core and your glutes, specifically your glutes in your right leg or your trail leg if you're a right-handed golfer. It'd be your glutes in your left leg if you're a left-handed golfer. In the address position, everybody can just imagine getting into your address position. The number one most common thing that I find is the core is not activated. Now, if you've been following me for a while or you've been watching YouTube videos or read my book, you know what I'm about to say. Super simple and super easy to get your core engaged. In the address position, just think about drawing your belly button in towards your spine, kind of like you're trying to put on a tight pair of pants. And then as you're doing that, make sure you're still breathing. So don't hold your breath. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. Make sure you're still breathing. It's almost like you're getting ready for a sucker punch to the gut. You're just trying to tense up just a little bit there. And keep breathing. As you do this, make sure that your hands and your arms and your neck don't tense up. We're just focusing specifically on your belly button. Drawing that belly button into your spine, trying to fit into a tight pair of pants while you're still breathing, so no breath holding. This is activating your core. Really simple and really easy. The next one, how do you activate the glutes, is a little more challenging. It's not quite super easy. It is still simple. In the same address position, I want you to imagine, or actually don't even imagine, if you got a stress ball handy, get your stress ball out right now. Because this is going to make it super easy for you. If you don't have a stress ball handy, just imagine you do. And you want to place that stress ball in the arch of your right foot. So if you're wearing shoes, place that stress ball in the arch of your right foot, underneath the arch of your right foot. Now, in your address position with that ball underneath the arch of your right foot, I want you to think about smashing the ball even harder. And here's where it gets a little tricky. Most people try to smash the ball by letting their right knee buckle in towards midline to try to increase the pressure on that ball. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep your knees exactly where they are and just think about pressing through the arch of your foot to smash that ball. You're eventually going to start feeling muscles in your feet starting to wake up, muscles in your arch starting to wake up. And then if you're lucky, you might even start to feel muscles in your right butt cheek starting to wake up too. However, I don't want you to focus too much on that at the moment. I just want you to feel muscles in your right leg starting to work. So anywhere from your right hip all the way down to your right toes, just focus on trying to feel more muscles in that right leg working than you did before we started doing this. So to come back full circle, how do we increase distance off the tee? Specifically, if you're an aging golfer, let's get the core working and the glutes working in the address position first. The reason why you want to get these muscles working in the address position first is because if you don't start out with the muscles working, the chances that you're going to get them to work in the half a second it takes to perform the backswing and get back down to the ball, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to do that because you're not athletic enough. You're not on the tour. You're not on the Champions Tour. So quit kidding yourself. There's a reason why you're listening to my podcast and you're not creating your own podcast or signing some type of licensure deal or whatever it is, making a lot of money because you're not that good of a golfer. If you were, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. So let's be humble. Let's eat our humble pie real quick and get back to work. In the address position, draw your belly button in, trying to fit into a tight pair of pants. Imagine that stress ball under your right arch if you're a right-handed golfer. Then start pressing through the arch of your right foot, trying to smash that stress ball a little bit harder. Don't let your right knee buckle in and just push harder and push harder and push harder. Keep breathing. Don't forget to keep breathing. You're eventually going to start to feel muscles working in your right leg. As you do all of this, shake out your arms, shake out your neck, make sure nothing's getting tight. You just want your core and your right leg working. From here, once you find all that, then you can slowly start working into the backswing. And when I say slowly, I do mean slowly. I want you to think about taking 10 seconds to get from the address position to the top of your backswing. If you do it correctly, what you'll notice is that it's going to get harder and harder and harder to keep going the higher you get into your backswing. If it doesn't, then you've lost one or two of the most important things, which is your core and your glutes. So as you slowly go into the backswing, keep focusing on pulling your belly button in. And here's a cue that works good for a lot of people. Think about smashing that ball under your right foot harder and harder and harder and harder as you go into the top of your backswing. You want to be pushing so hard through that arch of your right foot at the top of your backswing that it's almost like you can feel your right leg shaking and quivering because the muscles are working so hard. It's almost like you're out of breath because it's so hard to keep your core firing and that right leg firing and breathe at the same time. And then on top of all of this, you want to make sure your arms and your hands are relaxed. Now, if you're doing this for the first time while we're listening to this right now, you're probably saying, there's no way I'm going to be able to hit a golf ball while doing all this. There's just way too much tension. It's not loose enough. I'm just too tight, too tense. You're absolutely correct. You're 100% correct. And this is another reason why I'm very different, almost opposite to anybody out there on YouTube or any of the coaches out there right now, because I want you to do your homework, this thing right here that we're talking about, in your house, not out on the driving range, not while you're playing golf. I don't want you to do it outside at all. I want you to do it in your house, because once you start adding a golf ball to the equation, you start making it more complex, and it's not going to be easy. It's hard enough to do this without a golf ball in front of you, so you can't start adding a golf ball yet. So you want to do this homework at least for 2 or 3 weeks before you try to incorporate this into actually hitting a golf ball, because you've got to train your brain how to get your core and your right leg firing without having to think about it, because you can't think about this while you're doing the golf swing. There's too many other things that you need to be thinking about. So what we want to do is we want to do 3 sets of 10 reps at 10 seconds each. Said differently, in the address position with your core firing and smashing that stress ball, I want you to take 10 seconds to get to the top of your backswing, and then come back, take another 10 seconds to get back to the address position. This is super slow. So that's 1 rep. And then do it again, 10 seconds to get to the top of your backswing, and then take 10 seconds to get back to the address position. That's 2 reps. I'm doing it much faster right now than it should take you. I'm just trying to talk through it real quick right now. So I want you to do that 10 times, then rest, and then do it 10 times again, and then rest, and then do it 10 times again. So that's going to give you 30 repetitions of this drill. Each repetition should take 20 seconds each. 10 seconds to the top of the backswing, 10 seconds back to the address position. The key to this is slow and controlled movements, keeping the core engaged, keeping your right leg engaged, not letting your right knee straighten as you go into the backswing, because if it does, you won't be able to smash that ball as hard and you won't have your glutes firing at all. So doing this over and over again for 2 or 3 weeks is going to make it so much easier for you to go and incorporate this once you do try to hit balls on the range, allowing the core and the glutes to be firing. So that's your homework. I will try to build on this as we go through this podcast. I'll start giving you some more very tactical things to implement immediately, so that we can start making immediate changes in your golf swing, especially for aging golfers. If you want more information on this, if you want me to literally hold your hand, not literally, but through a screen, hold your hand, check out the Tee Shot Transformation. It's my online program. It's a 6-module program. It's only $150. Go on the website, bermangolf.com, or I'll even put a note in the show notes here, a link to the Tee Shot Transformation. And it's a 6-module online program. I'm going to send the videos directly to your email, and it's super simple, yet extremely effective on walking you through this so that you can actually implement it yourself. So check that out. It's only $150, the Tee Shot Transformation. And until next time, core engaged. Engage that right leg and swing away, baby. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. For more information, please go to bermangolf.com. That's B as in boy, ERMAN, bermangolf.com, and check out a ton of stuff that we have there. Or even better, go to our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're even on TikTok. Check us out everywhere. We've got tons of content going out every week. And please give us a thumbs up. Comment on the videos. Let me know what your questions are. Try to shoot holes in this. I'll do whatever I can to help you out the best that I can. Thank you, guys.